Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2026, the album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy, AF, Rock on Gold Dust, Woman. Players only love you when they're playing. Rhiannon rings like a bell through the night, and wouldn't you love to love her? A little Stevie Nicks. A little Stevie, it's a little Stevie. A little Stevie, a little bit Stevie, a little bit Alexis. A little Stevie Nicks remix for a Saturday afternoon. How are you guys doing today? I think I'm at the very bottom of this lip gloss because I'm hardly getting any of it out anymore. How are you guys doing today? Oh my God. Speaking of Stevie Nicks, 2 nights ago, well, really yesterday because it was at 7:15 in the morning, I finally finished watching all 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. I did a video about it yesterday on my Peter Watches TV channel, and I was very, very happy that in the last episode, they played Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, and of course I started bawling and things like that, and yeah. Speaking of TV shows, for those of you that didn't know that I have an entire channel dedicated to TV shows. I talk about reality TV, The Walking Dead, Baby Reindeer, Unlocked, Fallout. I talk about all the trending TV shows, everything. I do reviews over there and talk about all the drama, the reality shows, the Housewives, the Vanderpump Rules, the Valley, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, for those of you that didn't know that, I am currently in the middle of a 3-part series that I'm watching to review about the, I started watching it last night when we came home from dinner. We went to dinner, oh, by the way, we went to dinner with our good Judy, Melissa. Well, we went for her birthday last night to this restaurant that we love called Verde. We went with Melissa and her husband Jason and our friends Aaron and Eric. Aaron was the one that was telling me about the Ashley Madison documentary, so I came home and I started watching that last night. But I just have to say a little shout out to my very famous friend Melissa. So my friend Melissa, who's been in some videos with me and we traveled with her, she's one of our very dear friends, she and her husband, and she is what they call a blockhead. I did not know what this was. I hardly have any lip gloss on my lips at all. I did not know what a blockhead was, okay? But apparently a blockhead is like a deadhead, you know, like Grateful Dead head. A blockhead is for those people that love the New Kids on the Block. Now, my friend Melissa is obsessed. I mean, obsessed with the New Kids on the Block. She goes on the New Kids on the Block cruises. She goes to the block parties where they all show up, and then, like, you know, somebody, like one of the New Kids on the Block shows up, and they all go crazy and stuff like that, like they're Elvis. She goes crazy over the stuff. Well, they were putting together this fan video, and so Melissa wanted to submit something for this fan video. She was hoping that she could get it because they just released a new album, New Kids on the Block. Did you even know they were releasing albums? I didn't, but apparently they are. It's actually not bad. And so she was like, okay, I want to put this video together. And so she called me the other night, and it was like 2 weeks ago. And she was like, I don't know what to do for this video. I'm like, I keep feeling like it was like 3 or 4 days ago. But since then, we have gone to a wedding. It was Mother's Day. Melissa and Jason were in Paris for Taylor Swift. No, they were not there when Colleen Ballinger was there. So anyway, a lot has happened, but so she called me and she's like, I don't know what to do about this. And so we were coming up with ideas, and she was like, oh my God, I love Halloween. What if I dressed up like Dorothy for Halloween and I went trick-or-treating, and the things that I got were like the New Kids on the Block collector cards and the pencils, and I can put it and like trick-or-treat, because you know, like when kids trick-or-treat, they trick-or-treat with like their pillowcases. And she said, I have a New Kids on the Block pillowcase. Why? I don't know. But she's like, I could trick-or-treat with that. And she was like, and then could Alex film it? Because Alex is really good with editing and things like that. So we went over there 2 Sundays ago. We had a blast, but she had all of her Halloween stuff out on the front porch. And so we acted like it was Halloween. And here, I'll put a picture of her. If I remember, I'll put a picture up here somewhere of Melissa in her Dorothy costume. But anyway, so she submitted this because Alex put it together. It was very cool. And she made it into the video. She made it into the video twice. She's actually kind of like in a mosh pit. Did you know that New Kids on the Block have mosh pits? But anyway, she said she's in it twice. She's in this, well, no, she said it was a, what's it called? A flash mob dance party at the end of it. So anyway, but at the very beginning, like within the first minute, it shows her like walking up her steps. It's like, it's my good Judy, Melissa, as Dorothy in the New Kids on the Block fan video my husband's editing. And she made it in the video. We were so excited. I was like, she got out of the car last night for her birthday. I said, can I get your autograph, please? She's like, oh my God, I'm so famous. So she's in the New Kids on the Block, the fan video, and they just put it out there. I think it's for their song Magic. So if you want to go check it out, see my good G Melissa. She's very excited about it because she's such a huge New Kids on the Block fan. But anyway, so when we were at dinner last night, we were talking about TV shows because Aaron and Eric binge watch TV shows like my husband and I do. And so it's like, what are you guys watching right now? And she said, we're going to go home tonight and we're going to watch this Ashley Madison documentary. And I had just seen that it was on the top 10 of Netflix, as are the first 4 episodes of the new season of Bridgerton. What to do, right? And so last night, because I just got done with The Walking Dead, so I was like, before I go into the spinoffs of The Walking Dead, I kind of need a break from zombies for a little while, right? Every nightmare, every night I'm having is about being killed by zombies and things like that. I just need a break for a little while. So I was like, well, I mean, if zombies aren't going to get you, cheaters are. So I started watching this documentary about Ashley Madison. Now, if you don't know who Ashley Madison is, it's this website that it's where their motto was life is short, have an affair. And so it's where married people meet married people to have an affair, okay? And their system was hacked and like all the names were exposed. Well, there's this guy in there, right? And so he's like talking about how he was married to his beautiful wife and he loved her. And I'm like, this guy looks really familiar to me, right? And I'm like, who is this guy? Now, I haven't finished the documentary yet. I'm on the second part. And I'm like, this guy looks so familiar to me. And so about halfway through the first episode, he starts talking about how he and his wife did this video on YouTube, and they sang to a song in the show Frozen in their car, like while they were driving and stuff, and that it went viral on YouTube, and now they have a Christian vlogging, family vlogging channel. No, there's nothing wrong with those Christian vlogging, family vlogging channels, you know? And so the guy that has got, I think they have like 2 million subscribers on YouTube. It's Sam and Nia. And Sam, he said he didn't do anything. That he was just sending emails and messages. He didn't really do anything. But Sam, he was on the Ashley Madison website at the same time that he was a Christian vlogging channel on YouTube. And people think drama channels are bad. So anyway, I just want to bring that to your attention, okay? The buffoonery of all of that. But it's interesting to watch because they talk about how they were hacked and how they hired these like hacking specialists and cybersecurity people and stuff like that to come in and all this kind of stuff. It was very interesting to watch. So anyway, I watched that last night. By the way, I just want to say, you know that phrase, like, I'm like really into the memes right now, and by memes, I mean quotes on Instagram. I call those memes. I don't know why. Apparently a meme is like something funny, but I just like to call them everything memes. Like the Giphies, the Jiffies, the quotes, the jokes. I call them all just memes because that just makes more sense to me. Because I'm not a millennial, I'm a ratioed. I don't even know what any of that stuff means. And I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm unhinged. I'm an unhinged, ratioed, I don't know what, okay? I don't even know. I'm not a baby boomer, and I don't know what generation I belong to. I'm just Peter, I guess. So anyway, but you know that I love those memes, the quotes, the inspirational quotes. I post them all the time on my Instagram. If I'm not posting pictures of Marvis, the rescue dog with his big teeth, oh my God, I love him so much. And I like said something to his mom in DMs. I sent her a DM, and she hearted it back. Oh my God. And then, you know, like I talked to Thumbelina the squirrel's mom. I love Thumbelina the squirrel so much. I'm so into rescue animals. So if I'm not posting like pictures of rescue animals, or I'm not announcing like what the books are for the book club, which I just did yesterday for both book clubs for June, and if I'm not talking about what the newest movie is for Peter's Movie Club. So I have a movie club over my Peter Does Stuff channel, and it's called Peter's Movie Club. I know, but it's called Peter's Movie Club, and yesterday I just announced the movie for this week, okay? It's a 80s throwback, so it came out in 1989, okay? It's a really good one. So anyway, I let the universe pick it. I just ran up and down the list, and then I let the universe pick it on the video. So anyway, but you know, I love those memes, you know, and those Giphies and things like that, but I like the inspirational quotes, and so if I'm not reposting like rescue dogs and rescue squirrels and things like that, oh, those prairie dogs, Poppy the prairie dog, oh my God, I love it so much. But anyway, if I'm not posting like those kinds of things, I'm posting like inspirational quotes, you know, and so to kind of like keep me like centered, you know, there is nothing like a good inspirational quote on Instagram that can just change my life. No, truly it is. It does. And sometimes I read them, I'm like, damn, like I never thought that, you know what I mean? But anyway, so you know, like that quote though, like I didn't see this on the Instagram. I heard this like 50 years ago or something. And I'm 51, almost 52. So I probably did hear it about 45 or 50 years ago. But you know that thing where it's like, if you love something, like a butterfly, if you love, they always show a picture of a butterfly. Like, if you love something, set it free. If it was meant to be, it'll come back to you. You know that one? And, like, you're always afraid to do it because, you know, it's like when you're, like, in a relationship and it's bad and you're like, but if I set them free, then they're going to go find something better than me. Because that's how our minds work. You know what I mean? That's how our minds work. I can remember being in my 20s and, like, one of my friends, I was, like, in this real bad relationship. This is before I got sober. And I was, like, in this real bad relationship. You know, he was a drug dealer and I was, like, deep in my addiction. And he was telling me things like my ass was fat and I was bottom heavy and he was body shaming me left and right. But I just was in love. I just was. Like, I couldn't see outside of it, right? Because that was the period of my life where I was like, if you say bad shit about me, that must equal love, right? And it didn't change until I watched the episode of Tyra when she said, love is not pain. And then I was like, oh my God, I get it now, right? Like, why was I dating that fool? But anyway, so anyway, do you remember, like, at that time, I remember I was dating that guy, and I didn't know what to do, and my friend, she said to me, she goes, you know what they say? And I was like, no, what do they say? Who's they? The streets? And she was like, I just was texting another drama channel about what the streets were saying about another commentary channel. The streets have been talking, girl. The streets have been talking. Let me just tell you, okay? But anyway, so, but you know what they said? So she was like, you know what they say? And I was like, I don't know what to do. I love him so much, blah, 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 whatever. He was the worst boyfriend in the entire world, right? He was one of the worst people I've ever met my entire life. And she was like, you know what they say? They say, if you love something, set it free. If it was meant to be yours, it'll come back to you. And I was like, what? Well, let me just tell you, okay? I have been so upset because y'all have noticed I've been using my shade fan because I can't find my trash fan. And when it's appropriate, because when you're talking about trash in a video or trashy people, you want to use that trash fan, okay? And I almost was going to buy another one. And then the other day I talked about how I have no idea where this went. I can't find my drama phones. I can't, because I've been cleaning like crazy, right? I can't find my drama phones and I can't find my trash fan, right? Well, somebody commented on that video, and I see I need more lip gloss. The lip gloss is not popping today. I think this is out. I think this tube is out. So anyway, somebody commented on my video, and they said, Peter, they said, on your Toddy video, the last Toddy video that you did, you had your trash fan. And I said to myself, you did a video about Toddy Westbrook? I mean, obviously, I've done 15,000 of them, right? But anyway, I was like, okay, so that means that the trash fan has to be in this house somewhere, right? So I'm going through and I'm looking everywhere and I'm like, okay, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it was always meant to be. And I'm like, this trash fan, I know it loves me, okay? I know it loves me. I know it knows I speak the truth. So I'm like, where is it, right? And I'm looking everywhere downstairs and everything. I'm like, okay, well, you film your videos in the bedroom, or you have been recently. So why don't you go, so I'm like, in the bedroom, I'm like looking around the bed. I'm like, is it somewhere in whatever? And I'm like, no. And I look under the bed and it's there. And, I want to thank that person so much for saying that. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I just want to say I appreciate you so much for telling me about this, because I would never have looked under the bed, right? I was like, oh my God, it's under the bed. It was right there. It fell under the crack. That happens sometimes, you know? Especially when you are pushed out of bed by your partner. Don't you hate that when you sleep at night and your partner totally like hogs the bed and takes the entire bed? And by partner, what I mean is that my husband and I are going through a difficult time right now. No, in like all seriousness, my husband and I are having a really, really difficult time. And I know that people online have been speculating about the fact that we've been married, it'll be 13 years in August, and that we've been together, it will have been 16 years in August, and people speculate all the time and make videos about it, and there's full threads written about it with points of why my husband and I are destined to failure and we're going to leave. And that might be true. It might be true, and we might need to do a video about that at some point. I know you guys haven't seen my husband in any pictures or anything that I've posted. I mean, last night we were at dinner together. But so I know that you guys haven't seen him, so you're probably wondering, like, maybe Alex and Peter aren't doing well, and they're, like, splitting up. And we are having a problem. And the problem is, like I said, you know, when your partner hogs your bed, it really kind of comes down to that a little bit. So somebody that watches my vlog, her name is Lucy. I love her. She's very, very sweet. She sent me very nice things through the years. She sent this bed to us, okay? She sent this bed to us, this purple bed for Boo Radley. And it's a comfort bed, okay? And then she also sent us this purple blanket to go with the blanket, the bed, right? Now, at first, Boo Radley slept in the bed, okay? Then there was a long period of time where he couldn't be bothered with the bed. But Boo Radley changes food, treats, and bedding constantly, okay? Now, for like the last 2 to 3 weeks, we're back to Boo Radley having to sleep in the bed, okay? Not only does he have to sleep in the bed, that we then have to cover him up with the purple blanket, okay? The purple blanket, and it has to kind of sit like this over the bed, okay? Not like tucked in, but over the bed, so we can hide underneath it and peek his head out. Then the bed cannot be at the end of the bed. No, it has to be in between, right here, in between Alex and I, okay? So Alex and I have to look over the bed to see each other. So it's causing quite a bit of problems in our marriage right now. Boo Radley and his purple bed, my purple rain, Boo Radley and his purple bed that Lucy gifted us, which I'm so thankful for, might be the end to our 16-year relationship. Because Alex is getting pushed out that side, I'm getting pushed out this side. I'm literally turning in the bed last night. I'm like, don't disturb Boo Radley, don't disturb Boo Radley. And I literally have like this much of the bed. Alex has like that much of the bed over there, just so that Boo Radley can sleep comfortably in his purple bed, okay? If you have a dog, I think you probably totally understand. I love when people say that. They're like, oh my God, they're headed for divorce. I'm like, listen, I don't know. We might, at this point, both of us need to upgrade. I don't know, but we've been together 16 years. We ain't going nowhere, so just keep on saying it, you know. But anyway, so let's get into this video today. Oh my God! I haven't, like, done a real intro in a long time. You know, people are like, you haven't? I mean, a 7-minute intro is no intro on my channel. Purple rain, purple rain. I love I keep on needing more lip gloss because my lips feel so dry. I love the song The Beautiful Ones. I also love Little Red Corvette. Little Red Corvette. Bum, 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 bum. Baby, just too fast. Do y'all know what that song is really about? Listen to the words of that song if you want to know what it's really about, okay? I love that song so much. So let's talk about Jaclyn Hill and Jeffree Star, big drama. So let's talk about Jaclyn Hill and Jeffree Star, big drama. I was just talking to one of my drama channel friends today, and we were talking about this drama, and I said, he said, you know, Jeffree Star don't pull no views on my channel anymore. I go, you don't pull no views on my channel anymore either, but listen, he did this, so let's talk about it. So I'm not going to include the TikTok or anything like that, but Jeffree Star... I do have the TikTok. Jeffree Star has me blocked on the TikTok. It's so weird. Jeffree Star has me blocked on TikTok, and he has me blocked on Instagram. He had me blocked on Twitter, but then he unblocked me off of Twitter, and I think I'm still unblocked off Twitter. Oh, yeah, I'm still unblocked off of Twitter. So I don't know why he has me blocked on Instagram and on TikTok, but not on Twitter. I don't get it. So whatever, girl. It's not like I can't go into a side account and find you in 2 seconds flat. Jaclyn Hill has me blocked on Instagram, and I have her whole entire Instagram story because, of course, we have fake accounts, right? So this TikTok came out that Jeffree Star did because somebody took footage of Jeffree Star on, I think it was like a Southwest airline that he was on flying coach, okay? And so people were like, oh, Jeffree Star's flying coach and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff, right? And he came out and he, like, addressed it, I guess, and he said something about, like, when you're rich, the way that you save money is by flying coach. On Southwest, girl, did you pay for the upgrade where you can be in the first 10 numbers when they call your number on Southwest? Have you ever done that before? So we don't usually fly, Southwest. And a couple years ago, we went to Las Vegas with Jason and Melissa for Jason's birthday. And there was a bunch of us out there, and a bunch of couples that went out there for his 50th birthday. And so we all were flying on the same flight together, right? Well, we hadn't flown Southwest, and I don't even know how long. It had been like 10 years or something like that. And so we didn't know that they do this number thing now. Have you ever done this thing before? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like cattle call, where they're like, okay, numbers 50 through 45, you can go and you can pick your seat on the plane. You pick your seat where you want to be on the seat, right? And so you can, like, pay extra to be at the front of it. Well, we didn't know that, and our numbers were in the very back, which means we knew that we were going to have the shittiest seat. My husband so quickly went up to that gate, and he was like, okay, we need to pay the money. So we were right in the front row, right in the front numbers of those people. We didn't know all that. I was like, this alone, I would never fly Southwest. But Jeffree Star, apparently, he's trying to save money. Now, he quoted me something on the phone when I talked to him years ago that he was making something like $90 million a year. He was worth $90 million a year. Okay, he used to dog people so bad for flying coach, flying commercial, and all this kind of stuff. That was when he had PJs. Like Lala Kent says on Vanderpump Rules, PJs, you know what PJ is? Private jet. That's when Jeffree Star had private jets. And he also had Lipstick Nick as his best friend. But now she's the best friend of James Charles. So I don't think she's best friends with Jeffree Star anymore. But that's when, back in the day, Jeffree Star had mansions in Los Angeles, and his business was doing really well, and his mystery boxes and palettes sold out in like 15 minutes, and he had PJs that he took all over the world, and he had friends like Lipstick Nick and Hair by Jay, and he had like influencer friends. Now he's just got Hair by Jay. All that other stuff's gone, but he's just got Hair by Jay now. Oh, and a coach seat on Southwest Airlines. So he came out there and he said, you know, like, if you're going to save your money, well, I'll tell you how you can save your money, okay? Probably one of those Louis Vuitton bags could probably buy you, I don't know, 15 round-trip tickets on Southwest. I'm just saying, okay? So maybe get one less bag, and then you won't have to fly coach. Not that there's anything wrong with it, okay? But I think it's such a weird vibe. And the thing is like, just come out. Why even address it? Like, I would never even address that. What you coming out and addressing it is basically saying that you think that there's something wrong with it, okay? That people are shaming you for it. Then he says that the guy that took his video, and this is Jeffree Star's go-to always, okay? Do you remember the guy that came out there to his ranch that was going to work on his farm, and then Jeffree Star said, the whole thing felt very staged to me. And Jeffree was like, the guy was hitting on him. Why is it that every person that calls Jeffree Star out is always somebody that's hitting on him, okay? It's like when Jeffree Star hints out that he's going to start an OnlyFans, or he could teach people how to do BJs and stuff like that. Baby, I don't see you with a bunch of dates all over the world, okay? I know every person that you ever date's on the DL. That's real convenient to say, okay, that every person you date's on the DL, because then you never have to show anybody you date. Or maybe you're just not dating anybody. Or maybe you just prefer to be alone. I don't know. But then don't be acting like you're having a bunch of sex and that people are begging for your OnlyFans. I can tell you, I know at least one person that's not begging for your OnlyFans, and that's me. And know your audience, okay? Know your audience. I know my audience don't want to see me on no OnlyFans. I'm not stupid. And guess what, Jeffree Star? Your audience don't want to see you on no OnlyFans either, okay? They don't want to see you doing it, and they don't want to see me doing it. Trust me, okay? You don't have to keep on acting like you're the most sexual person in the entire world, right? But it's interesting to me because there's been so much speculation that he's having financial problems and blah, 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 and on and on and on, right? And I'm like, okay, so if that's really the case, maybe that's why you're flying Southwest. Why don't you just come out and be like, yeah, money's not great right now, okay? I'm having to donate money to my own TikTok battles to make it look like I'm winning. Money ain't good. I am not selling out those mystery boxes, okay? I used to sell them in 30 minutes, 15 minutes flat. They ain't sold out. They're still over there, and they were put up there 3 weeks ago. I can't sell out a pallet to save my life. So I'm having to put out pallets from 10 years ago that I think people might want again. Nothing's doing anything, right? So I think we're right around the corner from Jeffree Star selling Jeffree Star cosmetics. I think we are right around the corner from that. I don't think it's lucrative for him anymore. And I think it's contributing to several different things. I don't just think that it's that he's fallen out of favor with everybody or that he's irrelevant. I think that those things are true. I don't think people are that interested in Jeffree Star anymore. But I also think even though the beauty industry is still thriving, and I think that there's a lot of people that are interested in beauty, Jeffree Star, for somebody that always thought he had the pulse on the trends, and Jeffree Star, who is like, I mean, he tried to do like skincare because skincare is like the big thing right now and all this kind of stuff, but it didn't really take off. Because the thing about Jeffree Star Cosmetics was that people loved the colors that he used and that it was extravagant. I mean, people used to say that to they're like, oh my God, when Jeffree Star's palettes came out, I loved that he was using these vibrant colors and all this kind of stuff, and he like stepped right into it. It's not like anybody's really looking to Jeffree Star, okay, who is really not that concerned with his skincare regimen and things like that when he smokes as much pot as possible and drinks as many Red Bulls. That's not really that's not consistent with good skincare, right? And people that really care about skincare, they wouldn't be like smoking a bunch of weed and the smoke's in your face. Like, people know that care about skincare, right? Like smoking anything, okay? Cigarettes, vapes, anything is not good for your skin. Red Bull is not good for your skin, okay? And he does both of those things and eats a lot of sugar and things like that. And still is, even though he says he's not going to anymore. So you put out a skincare line, but your lifestyle isn't really consistent with skincare, so you're just putting out skincare to be trendy. But nobody really bought your skincare because people are really more interested in your palettes. But now people aren't even interested in your palettes because they're kind of just repeats of each other. You've done everything, right? And so at this point, it's like, what's your next move? And Jeffree Star is, I think he's out of ideas, and I don't think he knows where to go, and he's really not that relevant anymore. I do think the beauty industry is really still thriving, but I think it's gone into more of a natural direction. I think it's gone into more of a skincare direction. I do think that there's people that love to, do the highlighter and bake their faces and all that kind of stuff and get all glammed up. But maybe for an event, maybe for this, I think we're in a more natural time. People care more about skincare and things like that. They're not doing these extravagant looks with highlighter, and they're just not doing that as many people anymore. Some people are, but not as many people, right? And so he's kind of like lost it on that, and people don't really care about his reviews of makeup anymore. I mean, some people do, but not many. And so he's kind of lost his relevancy. I think that's really hurt his career. I also think that the lockdown really hurt his career. I think it changed a lot of things for a lot of beauty influencers. I think it's why we saw a lot of brands close down in the past. It didn't just hurt beauty industry, it hurt every industry out there. It hurt the restaurant industry, it hurt everything, right? Because people were learning that they could stay at home and they could order at home. When you're staying at home, unless you're doing makeup to relax, okay, you're not going out and doing looks, you're not doing this. People aren't doing as many photo shoots and stuff like that. We've become a generation or a world where more and more people, offices are closing down and people are working from home. They're living in their sweatpants and they're not having to get as dressed up. There's not this desire and this want for makeup routines and makeup this and makeup that. People can't afford $300 La Mer cream. So to review it, it's kind of pointless, right? Like, nobody's really that interested in spending that kind of money on those products that Jeffree Star is doing to do Jeffree Star approved products, because nobody can really afford those things. I think that's one of the things I've noticed with these beauty industry or these beauty influencers through the years is that they really don't understand how the everyday person has been really affected in the last couple years financially, right? I mean, you're talking about a world that was, on unemployment, a world that was getting stipend checks, that was living off their stipend checks, a world where people were having to close down their businesses because they were self-employed and they were like, I don't know what I'm going to do, And these people kept on pumping out palettes for the same price that they were paying before. Some of them even raised their prices of their palettes. And it's like, okay, read the room, read the economy, read the world. This is not how it works anymore. Like, people aren't that interested, and yet you guys are still doing this and still doing that, right? I think it actually would have been a moment for Jeffree Star to come out and say, not about, well, the way to stay rich is to fly Southwest, okay? Like, they're going to put him on as a sponsor. I think it would have been if he would have come out and he would have used it as a moment, and he would have said, I think we've all been hit by the lockdown and the economy in the last couple years. I know you guys, a lot of you have been hit out there. I've also been hit. And so, yes, I am flying coach. But because I've also been hit financially and I'm having to do some things differently, I'm going to do this for you guys. I'm excited to release this next palette. And I'm actually going to release the palette. He already showed us how much money they make and how much they upsize or up the amount of the palettes. He showed us that on Shane Dawson's, how little it costs to make a palette and how much they upcharge it, right? He showed us that. So what that says is he doesn't have to upcharge it that much. He could come out and use this as a teaching moment and say, yeah, I'm getting called out for flying coach. And the reality is we've all been hit hard. The economy is not good right now. It's been a real struggle for all of us. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. And, and yes, I'm flying coach. And it's more affordable for me. And because of that, I am going to release this palette, and I'm actually going to release it. My palettes are usually $52. I'm going to actually release it for $25 instead, because I know I want it to be more affordable for you guys. I think it actually would have been more relatable instead of, well, this guy asked me for my number because he was trying to get in with me, but girl, that is so 2016. Okay, take that shit back, all right? That is so 2016, 2017. Why don't you come out and just be honest and be like, that would have been relatable. I think your audience would have been like, damn, Jeffree Star's hurting, we're all hurting. Andy's going to sell a palette at half price. I'm not talking about the shit that you released 10 years ago, like the cremated palette or that came. No, the cremated palette's what you released at the same time that the lockdown was going on, which was a real great move, right? That you thought that was a good idea. But like, like the Bloodthirsty palette and things like that, he's releasing it again and he's putting them on sale. I'm not talking about that. Why don't you release like mini palettes of your favorites and release them for like $8 or something? Okay, do something. I mean, that would be genius, right? Like the Bloodthirsty Mini, my favorite 4 colors from the Bloodthirsty palette, or my favorite 4 colors from the whatever the purple palette was called. I mean, you got 4 purple palettes, 15 red palettes, 4 green palettes, the Envy palette, the Alien palette. I mean, girl, whatever. You could release mini palettes of them. You know, you could even have like mini Alien palettes that look, because they already done that. You could do it and just have 4 colors of each. You did it with the mini Conspiracy palette. You could do it with your other palettes. It would be more affordable, and people aren't, this is the thing, most people that aren't like using makeup every single day or aren't makeup artists are not like pulling out full palettes and doing looks every single day. That's just not the world that we live in anymore, and you gotta move with the times. You know, I've always believed that Jeffree Star was somebody that was very trendy and kept up with the times, and now I'm kind of like starting to wonder, like if he really understands trends and things like that, because I think this would have been a teaching moment. This is where these people do need marketing and PR people, because I would have said to Jeffree, I think this is a teaching moment. Why are you flying coach? Well, it's the camera stopped. You know, ask him, like, why are you flying coach? Well, it's affordable, okay? It's more expensive to fly first class, and it's more expensive. I obviously can't have a private jet anymore, and it's more expensive for that. My business is not doing great. I'd say to him, share that with your audience. Show your humility. Be humble on camera. Do a whole YouTube video about it. Returning to YouTube. This was the place that I loved. You know, I'm returning to YouTube. Let me tell you, do a life update. A life update on Jeffree Star's YouTube channel based around this whole thing of flying coach and how he is not making the same kind of money he was making before, and we've all been hit in the world by the economy, because everybody has. Okay? There's not really a lot of people. I mean, there's a few people that are benefiting financially off of what happened, but not many people, you know? I mean, unless you work for, you know, major medical companies and pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that, but most people aren't, you know? And so it would be so relatable to the world out there, especially the people. I don't think he has really a clue of who's watching his videos and who's bought all these mirrors, you know? I mean, I just saw online the other day, people were like trying to sell their entire sets of Jeffree Star's mirrors for like $50. And I'm like, damn, like his entire set of mirrors that were like expensive and had to collect over years. You're selling that, and these are people that are like, I still love Jeffree, but like there's no reason for me to keep on collecting these because they're not worth anything. I'll sell the whole collection in perfect condition for $50. I was like, damn, okay? So be relatable to your audience. Come out, release mini palettes. Mini palettes are actually more affordable than the major ones, and nobody needs, you know, 42 colors in a palette anymore. They don't need that, okay? Because half those colors nobody even uses anyway. So release mini palettes of your favorite colors. Say, I'm going to go through each palette and I'm going to go and share with what my favorite 4 colors are of each of those, or 3 colors. I'm going to release a mini palette of each of those, and I'm going to do them for $7 or $8 so they're affordable for you guys. Because times are tough, okay? No beauty influencer, no brand out there is doing that except for doing sales and clearances. It would be something new, and you could have used this story in a teaching manner. But no, you chose to go with the fact that he asked for your number and he was trying to get in your pants. And the reality is, ain't nobody trying to get into Jeffree Star's pants, okay? Nobody, all right? And I feel for you, Jeffree. Times are tough, okay? Times are tough. Trust me, like I said. We got a dog in between us. Times are tough, girl. I get it, okay? You know, I know people probably aren't reaching into your DMs as much anymore, girl. If they were, you wouldn't be flying. I mean, if you were really had that many NBA players, rappers, and NFL players hitting you up, girl, you wouldn't be flying on Southwest, okay? You might be flying up on first class or a PJ, because a lot of those people out there, those NFL players, those NBA players, those rappers, they don't ever fly coach on Southwest, okay? So that alone tells us all them stories are lies. They're all marketing, okay? And hey, I feel for you, girl. Times are tough, okay? It's hard to find the dick out there right now, girl, okay? It's hard to find it. You gave up the one good thing you had, which was that fake relationship that you had, okay? So, girl, I understand it. I get it, girl. Times are tough. But this was a moment where you could have turned it into something relatable, and you chose not to, okay? And this is where when people say to me, Jeffree Star has changed, this is a prime example of how he hasn't changed. That he has no connection to his audience, and he doesn't realize that the people out there are struggling, okay? I'm so grateful anybody even chooses to watch my videos. You know, somebody said to me the other day, views are so low. I'm like, I'm still getting more views than most people show up to a concert. I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful for that. Hey, listen, it is what it is, you know? I'm grateful for each and every single one of you out there that watch my videos. Period. End of story. Haven't said that in this video yet. So let's get into Jaclyn Hill. Okay, so I kind of referenced this in my video that I did the other day about Trisha Paytas. I honestly thought I'd be able to make this whole video in less than 30 minutes, but I guess that's not going to happen. So Jaclyn Hill did this Instagram story. It was like 3 parts. She's talking about like drinking this Erewhon coffee, and then she don't really drink coffee more because she gave up caffeine, and then all the caffeine addicts come for her and say stuff because she gave up coffee, and she sometimes likes coffee. I don't know. I'll show it to you here in just a second. It's the most boring 3 minutes of your life. But anyway, then she goes on there to talk about like setting boundaries and limits for people, which is interesting because on my Peterisms channel, I've been talking about this a lot, okay? About removing toxicity from your life and all this kind of stuff. Well, first she talks about why she doesn't share as much about her personal life online anymore, okay? And I'm like, well, girl, you're still selling shit on your Instagram. You said you weren't going to do that anymore, but you're still doing that, non-disclosed. I actually just looked today. She has like 3 links on her Instagram story just today that are non-disclosed affiliate links, okay? So she hasn't learned anything. So Jaclyn Hill comes out and she says, and don't tell me that I'm always coming for Jaclyn Hill because I just sang her praises in a video not too long ago saying that I felt like her weight loss journey was inspiring, okay? It's not that she doesn't share personal stuff. It's that she picks and chooses what she shares, right? Like she says in this Instagram story that she is not as interested in makeup anymore and things like that. And she doesn't talk about makeup anymore. And the reason why is because she was basically devastated over what happened with her makeup brand. But she's still saying my makeup brand. She's never, you talk about oversharing because she used to overshare so much. I'd like you to actually overshare a little bit about what happened with the closing of your brand because you lied straight through your teeth, okay? Everybody in the world knows that Forma owns your brand. You still have never come out and said that, okay? You just said you were closing your brand. You've really never, I mean, you did dedicated videos to mistakes your brand made, the opening of your brand, how it was a family-owned brand, the money you put in your brand, but you've never really done a dedicated video coming out and telling the truth about behind the scenes of what happened with the brand. People are like, well, there's NDAs. No, there's not. I don't buy that with this story with Jaclyn Cosmetics. Okay, so she's still coming out and feeding the story of her cosmetics brand because she was the one that originally came up with the idea, but she sold it to Forma. And that's okay. People start businesses all the time. You know, I've had friends of mine that started small businesses and a bigger entity bought it. I'm like, hey, congratulations, you know? Let's go to St. Bart's. Let's celebrate. Okay, I don't know why that's such a diss. That she built a brand or even put $10,000 or $5,000 into it that Forma was interested in. Even if Linda from Morphe was one of her dear friends, they felt that it was a brand that was going to make them enough money that they invested into it. That's not a fail, okay? But the fact that she came out and stuck to the lie that it was her brand, that's what killed her, okay? Well, that's easy. Just get on video and be honest and authentic and humble and just say, I never really did own the brand except for at the very beginning. I owned the intellectual rights. I put the money down for the LLC. I still own the LLC, but then I sold the rights to Forma Brand. So they were the owners and operators of it. I was the creative face of it, and they ran everything behind it, and I got a cut of it every single... There's no shame in that, Jaclyn. A lot of companies do that. A lot of businesses do that. You're afraid to do that because you're afraid that your audience will say, well, here again, Jaclyn's lying. But you say you don't ever lie, right? I actually think it would help you out a lot to come out and share this and talk about what happened with your brand. Because that's the one thing, other than Kayla Nicholson, that people really want to know, okay, about what happened with the brand. Just come out and be honest about it. I said that Jaclyn moving forward, I said this in a video not too long ago, that Jaclyn moving forward, I think wants to move into this whole like, vlogging, family vlogging, lifestyle vlogging, and that's why she's linking all this. I think she would do very well at that. I think people would be interested in that, right? Put the past behind you. Do one dedicated video addressing what everybody wants to know. Get in a video and say, it was a shit move what I did to Kaylin Nicholson. I owe you an apology, Kaylin. Say it on video. That's what people want to hear. It's the right thing to do, okay? Say it on video. You not being able to say her name and apologizing to her on video shows your arrogance, ego, and pride. Say it, put it behind you, okay? Explain what happened on your brand. Explain why Forma owns your brand. You've never explained that Forma even owned your brand when it was on Forma's website that they owned your brand. Come out and explain all that. Put it in the past. Do one dedicated video and call it Everything Everybody Wanted to Know. Talk about Becca Cosmetics. Talk about Marlene Estelle. Just apologize to everybody. Clean it up and move on, girl. And then you don't owe anybody anything. Then you can move on into your future with you and Jordan. People love Jordan. I got so many messages of people being like, I loved Jordan on Next Level Chef. He was so good. He was so enjoyable to watch on there. People love Jordan on there. I think you moved out to California for opportunities for him. You're going to move into more lifestyle vlogging, and I think it's a great direction for you, Jaclyn. Start disclosing appropriately your affiliate links, okay? It's gonna bite you in the ass. Whether you listen to me or not and you think I'm just a hater coming out and talking about it, At the end of the day, the bottom line is, period, end of story, as I always say, the bottom line is your day in the sun is coming, okay? You have done it so many times that they are watching you. I know they're watching you, okay? And eventually, and I know that for a fact, okay? Eventually, they're going to find you. They're going to come for you. There are several people out there that they are watching that do not disclose appropriately. People always say to me, why do they not like charge these people and arrest people? They have. Go read the articles. These people aren't going to come out and say, I was charged this amount of money. The fact that Jaclyn Hill continues to do it says that she hasn't been charged, okay? But the day is coming, and they are watching several people out there that are doing this on a huge level, and not just beauty influencers, okay? People that are doing non-disclosed sponsorships left and right on YouTube, that every video there was sponsored. Listen, I know about this stuff, okay? So you can believe it or not, but start disclosing, because as a lifestyle vlogger that wants to like to know it, and your website, and Amazon, and Nordstrom, and Saks, and Neiman Marcus, okay, it's going to bite you in the ass. And nobody's going to give you an affiliate code, and then you're not going to be able to make any money anymore. It doesn't hurt you at all to disclose it, okay? Period, end of story. You know? And it's like, I see so many people now that are, because I've been talking about it, that are disclosing and putting right underneath the link, affiliate link. I mean, that's all you have to do, right? And they're still making good money off their affiliate links. So anyway, I started getting sent this DM, and people were like, Jaclyn Hill's talking about Colleen Ballinger, okay? And I'm like, I watched the whole story. I didn't hear her talk about Colleen Ballinger. So, let's roll the tape, okay? And the part, and Trisha Paytas also, I think this is what she was referencing, maybe or maybe not, but where Jaclyn Hill is talking about how she's had to set boundaries and get rid of people, and now karma is paying its due. So let's watch this scene real quick.
You guys know that I gave up coffee for a while, and I know that coffee drinkers get very triggered when I say that I stopped drinking coffee, but like, it's really not that big of a deal. It just didn't react to my body the way I would like it to, and I found other alternatives and other ways of getting caffeine that worked better for my body, okay? I feel like I have to defend myself, because the coffee drinkers, y'all come for me in my DMs, and I'm like, let's just breathe. It's just coffee. Anyways, but on occasion, I do get coffee. And when I come to Erewhon, I get it, because I think the Erewhon's coffee beans are another level of delicious, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of big name coffee places that I just genuinely do not like their beans. But this right here, so this is my new way of ordering coffee, okay? When I do get it, iced latte with a little bit of maple syrup and cinnamon. It's giving pancakes. She is serving pancakes. Oh my God. I'm literally balancing my phone on my steering wheel right now. I'm sorry for this angle, but I needed to be hands-free. I just want to tell you guys, this is so random, I know, but I really miss you. And like, I had to take a step back from social media, not in the sense of like showing my face, but a step back, meaning like really separate my personal life from my social media life for my own mental health. And I stopped sharing a lot with you guys because I used to share so much. I was such an oversharer, and it ended up just hurting me. I also stepped away from makeup. Although I didn't step away from it personally, I stepped away from makeup online just because I had so much hurt and pain surrounding makeup, and just like my dream of my makeup line literally like crushed my soul like you can't even imagine. But I miss you guys so much. Like, I'm finally in a place where I'm ready to just like, I don't know, I've healed so much and I miss you so much is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so one more thing on the note of oversharing, just because this is something that I'm struggling with so bad right now, and I want to know if any of you guys are going through this currently and if it resonates with you at all. So I cut a lot of people out of my life, and please don't try to play the game of like who that is, because a lot of people that I cut out of my life, I never even showed on social media, so you probably don't even know who I'm referring to. But I cut a lot of people out of my life a little while ago, just because I like basically opened up my eyes one day and I was like, wow, there's a lot of people in my life who are using me and here for the wrong reasons, and just like being a friend to me. And when I cut them out of my life, there were a lot of things that validated the fact that that was correct. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let God and karma take care of them, and I'm gonna take care of myself. Moving on. Well, now fast forward, I'm watching karma do her thing. I'm watching God do his thing, and their lives are not looking so good. And now I feel guilty. And now I feel like my codependency, I'm like, I want to take care of them, I want to help them, but I'm like, I kicked them out of my life for a reason. Karma's being served, but yet I feel guilty even though it has nothing to do with me.
Okay, so she says in there, don't try to guess who she's talking about, because a lot of people are people she's never even talked about online before. Girl, I don't buy that, okay? I think that's an old trick of YouTube that's been done a million times. Oh, I'm not talking about this person when you're exactly talking about that person. You just don't want anybody to go send anybody that hate. I will say, because I'm nosy, and I went in and I digged and I looked to see who Jaclyn Hill's still following. She's still following Lipstick Nick, so it's not her. Still follows Jeffree Star, still follows James Charles. She still follows Colleen Ballinger, okay? So not only is Jaclyn Hill problematic, but she's also a predator protector because she's following Colleen Ballinger and James Charles, and obviously takes no issue with them. She's still following Manny MUA, Laura. She follows all of those people, so it's none of those people. I thought maybe it was her friend PK, and so she's still following him. So I'm like, who is she talking about in there? I do think it's somebody, a big influencer, but I don't think she wants anybody to figure out, so she hasn't unfollowed him yet, okay? People are speculating that she's talking about Colleen Ballinger because she says in there something about karma, right? It's interesting to me because then Trisha Paytas was talking on her podcast about how the Christmas party situation. So if you don't remember the Christmas party situation, I've talked about it multiple times. My hand is itching. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm going somewhere? Is that what she means? She do. She got footage. She included footage in her video. She did. She do. But anyway, I'm getting whole merch that says she do on it. Oh, I have my Metallica shirt, and I forgot to sing any Metallica. Into night, off to Never Land. But anyway, so she was at Colleen Ballinger's Christmas party. Now, Colleen Ballinger, as ever, the most amazing Christmas host. If you got invited to one of Colleen Ballinger's Christmas parties, I mean, that was the Willy Wonka golden ticket, okay? You got to sit in a circle and play Truth or Dare, where you had to answer any question in front of all of your colleagues on YouTube and as influencers. Any question that they ask you, you had to answer. You got to see OnlyFans that Trisha Paytas is. You got to play a white elephant game where you exchange presents with each other, things that you could already buy for yourself, and none of them were even funny, okay? And you got to hang out with a bunch of predator protector defenders, okay? Oh my God, I'm so sad I didn't get invited to that party. But anyway, so after Colleen Ballinger had a Christmas party, Jaclyn Hill came out and said she was at this Christmas party, and the host, who was Colleen Ballinger, put her in the circle and put her on the spot and said to her, and the rumor is that she was asked, but she came out in a video and she said what was asked of her, that she was asked, did you know about the fuzzy lipsticks? The question that was asked was, it implied more than that. And she was asked, did you know about the lipsticks before they were released? What it implies, okay, is that culpation, is that what it's called? It implied that Jaclyn Hill released the lipsticks knowing that they were problematic, okay? It's a bigger issue that Colleen Ballinger asked her. It's not just like, what did you think about the fuzzy lipsticks or whatever. It's implying that Jaclyn Hill, it's Colleen Ballinger thinking so poorly of Jaclyn Hill that she thought that Jaclyn Hill released lipsticks knowing how bad they were, how problematic they were, okay? Now, I will tell you this. Jaclyn Hill did not handle the situation with the lipsticks appropriately, okay? She said she hired 6 scientists. We never heard about that. She came out too late and addressed it and stuff like that. I do not believe that Jaclyn Hill, and I know people will disagree with me on this, I don't believe that she would have come out in a video and talked about this Christmas party being put in this circle if she did know about these lipsticks, because I think that it would have brought all that back up, which implies that her even talking about it, and no, I don't think that Jaclyn's so smart that she thought 3 steps ahead like a lot of people do. I don't think she really thinks that way. But what she didn't realize that she was doing by bringing this out and talking about this was she was actually showing innocence and knowing about the lipsticks before they were released, okay? Because actually talking about this issue and saying, I can't believe that somebody would put me in a circle and ask me this most horrific question, is basically saying, I had no clue what was going on. And she's not that smart to think 3 steps ahead. I'm not saying that Jaclyn Hill is stupid by any means. I'm just saying I don't think that she is that calculated to think that many steps ahead to realize that by calling Colleen Ballinger out, it was going to show innocence in her not knowing anything. Right? To think that that was such a nasty thing to do to somebody. To imply that she actually knew about it before they were released, okay? But it implies and shows who Colleen Ballinger is as a person, not just to her fans, but to her colleagues, to other people that she's invited to a Christmas party, okay? I mean, can you imagine being invited to a Christmas party? Let's just put it in the real world for a second, okay? Let's just imagine being invited to a Christmas party and the company that you work for, right? That there's this mass, let's say, situation going on where the company is being audited or sued for embezzlement, right? And you go to a Christmas party with all your friends. My battery died just as I was getting into my analogy. Okay, so you're at this Christmas party, right? And you're there with all your colleagues, and you work for this, business, and blah, 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 whatever. That's just how this audit or is being sued for embezzlement, right? And somebody puts you in the circle, somebody that you know that you work with, and is also a friend of yours, right? That is invited you to their home. And in a circle of 30 people, asks you, so did you know that money was being stolen? Or not that you knew that money was being stolen, but ask you something like, when did you know that money was being stolen? To imply that you were part of it, right? In front of all these people. Do you guys remember the other questions that came out there? Oh, okay. Jaclyn shared what some of the other questions were. I now remember the video where she said that. Where she's like, oh, they'd ask you this or they'd ask you that. And this was the question that she did talk about it, fully talked about it, right? So is she talking about Colleen Ballinger when she says that she's had to distance herself from people? Well, if she is, why don't you unfollow her, girl? Why don't you block her straight off there, okay? People that I don't like, I don't follow on Instagram, okay? If I don't like somebody, an easy way to check if I like them or not is I don't follow them people on Instagram or Twitter or nowhere else, okay? Unless I'm not aware that I'm following anymore, and then bring it to my attention and I will quickly unfollow them, okay? And if I'm not aware of them and I didn't even know about it, okay, I will quickly unfollow those people, okay? But I've mentioned this in numerous videos that she's followed Colleen Ballinger, all these people, right? James Charles. So she must support their actions and their behaviors. So who are you talking about that's getting karma? Because nobody else right now is really getting their karma. In fact, James Charles has a thriving career right now, okay? Jeffree Star, well, I mean, he's flying coach. She flies coach. But he's still okay, putting out some mystery boxes and things like that of all of his old junk that he used to, didn't sell. So he had to put it in that mystery box and call it a mystery box because it's a mystery what you might get. And you probably got a bunch of junk. Mystery. But anyway, who are you talking about, girl? Oh, don't try to figure it out because it's nobody that I've ever talked about in my videos. But then you just talked about oversharing. And actually in this part you say, referencing oversharing. So you are talking about people that you've talked about in the past. So you must be talking about Colleen Ballinger. Oh, okay. So you are talking about Colleen Ballinger. Well, my question to you is, why do you still follow Colleen Ballinger? Because you don't want the world to think that you don't support Colleen Ballinger anymore and you've set that boundary and that limit with somebody that has predatory allegations. Girl, it looks bad that you still support her, okay? Her own best friend, Joey Graceffa, unfollowed her on Instagram. My question to you would be is, if you so much believe in karma and you believe in doing the right thing, and you're talking in your Instagram story about removing toxicity and setting boundaries for people, girl, why are you full on following somebody on Instagram that has predatory allegations? Not one, but two. James Charles and Colleen Ballinger. In fact, I've been pretty light on you, girl. I've come for a lot of people a lot harder, okay? Because I think you're so frivolous that you just continue to follow whoever you want to follow. But you are still one of the only people to this day that is continuing to follow Colleen Ballinger and James Charles. You follow two people out there that have predatory allegations, okay? So I don't know what you're talking about with karma, but Colleen Ballinger already put you in a circle and did you wrong. That would have been enough for me to block somebody, unfollow them, and never speak to them again, okay? If I were you. That would have been enough for me to be done with that person. You would talk about setting boundaries. I talk about setting boundaries every day on my Peterisms channel. That would have been enough for me to set the biggest boundary, okay? But you're still following this person? Why, girl? Go watch my Peterisms videos. I talk over there about being a doormat for years and years and years. What is your need to follow Colleen Ballinger, somebody that was so ruthless to you and gave a shit about what you thought about or what you cared about, and it's predatory allegations? So you stand behind those allegations, you still support them. And Jaclyn, I know you watch these videos, okay? I know you do. And so you're hearing this. So my question is, why are you still following her? I don't even care if it's performative or not, okay? For your own well-being, you need to go into your Instagram and unfollow Colleen Ballinger and probably James Charles too, okay? I don't care what anybody says about it, whatever. For your own well-being, I'm telling you right now, you want to remove toxicity from your life. I don't give a shit how much she apologized to you or whatever. She has now come out and been proven to be one of the nastiest people on the influencer space, period, end of story, okay? That has hurt fans, that has talked mad shit about people behind their backs, that have viewing parties of Trisha Paytas' OnlyFans, that talk shit. You're one of the people that has shown what a bad person Colleen Ballinger is, and yet you continue to endorse her by following her on Instagram. Girl, why? Like, that is baffling to me, okay? Jaclyn, you're in this period of your life where you're changing. Stand up for yourself. It's real simple. Go into your Instagram and unfollow her. You have nothing to gain by this woman, and neither does anybody else. And she has done you personally no favors, okay? And she is continuing to do you personally no favors by you following people like her and James Charles. Girl, I don't get it. I don't understand it, okay? You want to come out and be such a truth teller and all this kind of stuff? This is such a bad look, right? But until you tell us who you're talking about, I guess we're going to have to guess. But that's part of oversharing too much. I'll tell you what you could share less of. Those affiliate links that are non-disclosed, and you could share more about the truth about your life, okay? Because that's what people are interested in. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.